Title is Winnie the Pooh, Mini Adventure in the Acre Woods, Chapter 1, in which Christopher Robin written. Who started? Nobody knew. One moment there was the usual forest babble, the wind in the tree, the crow of the cock, the careful water in the stream. Then came the rumor. Christopher Robin is back. Owl said he heard it from Rabbit, and Rabbit said he heard it from Piglet, and Piglet said he just sort of heard it. And Kangaroo said, why not ask Winnie the Pooh? And since that seemed like a very encouraging idea on such a sunny morning, of Piglet's truth arriving in the time to find Pooh anxiously counting his pot of honey. Isn't it odd? Said Pooh. Isn't what odd? Pooh rubbed his nose with his paw. I wish they would sit still. The shuffle around they with the shuffle around when they think I'm not looking. A moment ago there were 11 and now there are only 10. There are, it is good, isn't it, Piglet? It's even, said Piglet. If it's 10, that is, and if it isn't, it isn't. It isn't. Hearing himself saying this, Juliet thought that it didn't sound quite right, but Paul was still counting, moving the pots from one corner of the table to the other and back again. Brother, said Paul. Christopher Robin would know if he was here. He was good at counting. He always made things come out the same way twice, and that was good counting is. But Pooh Piglet began the tip of his nose, growing pink with excitement. On the other hand, it's not easy to count things when the one stays still, like snowflakes and stars. But Pooh, if Piglet's nose was pink before, it was scarlet now. I've made up a hum about it. Would you like to hear? Would you like to hear it, Piglet? Piglet was about to say that hums were splendid things, and both were the best there were. But rumors come first. Then he thought was a nice feeling. It was to have a big piece of news and to be able to pass it on. Then he remembered the hum which Ham had made up about him, Piglet, and how it had 7 verses, which was more verses than a hum had ever had since time began. And that they were all about him, and so he said, "Oh, yes, oh, please." And Paul glowed a little because a hum is all very well as far as it goes, and very well indeed when it was when it goes for 7 verses. But it isn't a real hum until it's been tired out on somebody. And well, honey is always welcome. It's welcomest of all directly after a hum. This is the hum which Paul hummed to Piget on the day which started like any other day and became a very special day in there. And I think it's 11 at 4, which is an excellent number of pots for for a Thursday. So 12 would be ever better. Oh, said Piglet quickly, in case there was a tired first on the way, which would be nice, but times consuming. I have a very important question to ask you. The answer is yes, said Pooh. It is time for a little something. But Pooh, said Piglet, the tip of his nose by now quite crimson with anxiety and frustration. The question is not about little something, but big something. It's about Christopher Robin, who would have just put his paw into the into the pot of honey. Left it there, just to be on the side, and asked, "What about Christopher Robin? The rumor, do you suppose he has come back?" The grey donkey, was standing at the edge of the hundred acre wood, starting at a bag of needles. He had been saving them for a rainy day and was beginning to wonder whether it would ever rain again and whether, by the time it did, there would be any juice left in them. When Pooh and Piglet came by, "Hello, little Piglet," said Eeyore. "Hello, Pooh, and what are you doing around here?" "We came to see you, Eeyore," said Pooh. "A quiet day, was it, Pooh? And if we haven't anything better to do, sort of day?" "How very thoughtful." Piglet wondered how it was that every conversation with Eeyore seemed to go wrong. "Time hanging heavy, was it, Piglet? And Pooh, I would thank you not to stand off those stairs." "Which ones would you like me to stand on?" asked Pooh. "But Eeyore," squeaked Piglet, "it's just... Have you swallowed something, little Piglet?" "Not a thesis, I thirst." "It's Christopher Robin," said Pooh. "He's coming back." While Pooh was talking, Eeyore went rather still. Only his tail moved, brushing away an imaginary fly. "Well," he said, rather huskily, then paused. "Well, Christopher Robin, that is to say, Hector Heretopper," he blinked quickly several times. "Christopher Robin coming back. Well." Finally, the rumor was confirmed. Owl had flown to Rabbit's house, and Rabbit had spoken to his friend and relation, who had spoke to Smells of Owl who thought he had seen Christopher Robin, but couldn't be absolutely certain because sometimes he remembered things which turned out not to have happened yet, or ever, or at all. And then I staggered what the dog, only he was hopping across Kanga's carpet avoiding the yellow bits, which could be very dangerous, and paid no attention. But Kanga had told Rabbit that it was true. And when Kanga said something was true, that then that this thing was true. And so if Pooh and Piglet thought that it was true, and Owl believed that it was true, and Kanga said that it was true, then it really must be true, mustn't it? So a meeting was convened to pass a resolution. The resolution was for a welcome back party for Christopher Robin. And Roo got so excited that they fell into the brook on by accident, and twice on purpose until Kanga told him that if he didn't did eh, if he did it again, he would not be allowed to come to the party, but would have to go home to the bed. It was chilly. The morning of the party dawned warm and sunny, and Spinny in the hundred acre wood was looking its finest. There were speckles of light on the ground where the sun had gone away so the branches. And other place where the branches he said no. Kanga found a mossy place and laid a table with her best line tablewood, the one with branch of grape embroidered around the edge, and Rabbit brought in the best willow pattern teacups, and said that they were heirlooms. And when Paul asked all in a whisper what a heirloom was, all said that it was a kind of cake. Then Kanga moved one of the teacups so that it was covered in the stain where Tiger had spilled a dollop of most strengthening medicine. All the animal brought treat for the face hazelnut from the rabbit, and a pot of honey almost full from Pooh, and a twist of lemon sherbet from Piglet, the kind that when you put it in the palm on your hand and lick it, the palm on your hand went bright yellow, and jellies of all colors made by Ro and tigers. There were glasses with colored straw and homemade lemonade, and squares of decorated paper with everybody's names on them, and things which you blow and which made a humming noise when you hit, and things which you throw, and balloons, long ones, as well as round ones and splendid cracker. But in the every center of the table stood the finest cake you ever saw baked by Kanga and iced by Ru and Tiger, and there was friendly writing on the edge, except that nobody could make out that it said, not even owl. And when Pooh asked Ru and Tiger what the writing said, they giggled and ran off to play in the bracken. Everyone had been invited to the party, even Eeyore, and Pooh had placed a special invitation under the door of Christopher Robin's house. Our head right in it said, special invitation, welcome home, Christopher Robin, and welcome to a welcome home party day today. It says welcome 3 times. I will explain. Because that whole place where are to see him back. All the animals sat on the ground and waited, but there was the tree stump reserved for Christopher Robins. Their jellies were getting rather wobbly in the sun, and Ru kept looking at the green jelly which he had made himself with grapes and green cakes, and which was, or at least had been, shaped like a castle. It was a little along the table road from him, and he kept fidgeting to get closer to it, because although the other make like green bath, he knew that he did. He kept saying to anyone who would listen, the red ones are the best. They've got strawberries in them. The yellow ones are even better because there's real lemony. But he said nothing about the green ones. Eeyore was the last of the animals to arrive in the spring. He turned around a few times and sat down on the tree stumps. Jollification and he diddle diddle, he said. Decide, Descend of you to wait for me. But Eeyore, said Piglet, and would have said more if Kanga hadn't frowned and shaken her head at him. I'm sure it's going to be a lonely party, said Kanga. But you're sitting in Christopher Robin's place, Eeyore, dear. Eeyore unfolded his legs and got slowly back to his feet. It was quite comfortable, he said. As trees sound cold, I'm sure Christopher Robin will enjoy sitting on it now that I've warmed it up for him. Still there was no Christopher Robin. He got held his cracker up to the light and shook it to see if it rattled. Then a little sadly he put it down again. When can we start? Oh, when can we start? Cried Baby Roo. The red jelly are best everyone. Or the yellow ones. Oh, when can we start? And Kaka said, soon there, soon. But don't keep putting like that. It's rude. Pooh was starting at his pot of honey and getting thirsty and wondering if it was still his pot of honey. And whose pot of honey it would be if Christopher Robin didn't come, and whether Owen could train bees to make honey straight into pots, because then they could use the combs to brush their hair without it getting sticky. If bees have hair, and maybe he would leave an empty pot there just in case. And would it get any hotter? And what would happen if it did? And Paul had sang for one, and he uttered a soft sort of snort. which is halfway between a grunt and a snore. Then, by way of conversation, Old said, "Did I ever tell you about my Uncle Robert?" And although he had told them more than several times each fact, Kanga said quickly before he could begin, "Best not to tire ourselves. Christopher Robin is sure to be her son." Abigail said, I accept he had to come a very long way." "How do you know?" Rabbit asked. "How long?" "He may have been delayed by a cross brush," said Pooh. "They do that something, you know, or a heffalump," said Piglet, and he shuddered at the thought. Then the sun went behind the only cloud in the sky, and the speckles in the forest went away and came back again, which is what Christopher Robin had done if you believe the rumor. Then Piglet, a little flustered and a little hungry, explained, "Christopher Robin has had to come from wherever he comes from, Rabbit, and it must be a very long way, because if it wasn't he would be here by now." Just at the moment there was a whirring sound and a tickler sound, and a pinging sound, and there he was, Christopher Robin, just as he had always been, except that he was riding a bright blue bicycle. Everybody gasped and began chattering at the same time, which is usually quite impolitely, but wasn't just then. When Christopher Robin had learned his bicycle against a tree, he looked at them all and said, "Hello, everyone, I'm back." "Hello," said Pooh, and Christopher Robin gave his a smile. "I was saying a foolish thing. I will explain to you the principle of an witch." Eeyore said, "A pleasure to see you, Christopher Robin, and I hope you enjoy the stone, which is quite warm out." The guy just said, "Oh." He wanted to say much more, but the words wouldn't from themselves the way he wanted them to. And when they had, it was too late to ask them. Rose said, "There are lots of jelly, Christopher Robin, and me and Tiger made them, and the red ones have good real strawberries in them. But if you want a green one, I will try them all," said Christopher Robin carefully. "But I will try the red ones first." Early and late, two smallest friends and relations, called a cracker or tired too, and Early let go by mistake and let droplets over backwards. But Winnie the Pooh gave Christopher Robin a bear hug and said, "Welcome home, Christopher Robin." Kanga said, "You must cut the cake, Christopher Robin, and make a wish," at a tiger, hopping from foot to foot, which is complicated when you have four. So Christopher Robin made a wish, and everyone cheered and clapped and said, "Welcome home," except Eeyore, who said, "Many happy returns of the day," and Christopher Robin fell back to the bed, but a little sad at the same time. Then everybody blew their horns and threw their streamers and pot crackers and ear pot too, one with his front half and one with his back. And the first one had a motto and a carrying with a present from Margaret on it and a paper hat, but the second only had a paper hat. And Christopher Robin said to Pooh, "You've eaten a lot of jelly and a slice of Kanga's cake, so I don't have room for the honey." "I wondered, Pooh, whether you would be kind enough to eat it for me." And Pooh was kind enough and did. The ear said, "I don't suppose he remembers who I am. Not that it's important. After all, why should he?" When they had eaten everything they could eat, which was almost but not quite everything on the table, because at a proper party there should always he left over for their birds. Christopher Robin made this announcement. Now there, friends of the forest, in my bicycle basket I have coming home present for you all, because I have missed you so much. And I have worked them up in a Christmas paper, because I had some left over from last year and I thought it might be usable for next year. The animals were very excited, even smallest of all, who had fallen asleep in a butter dish and had to be buttered. He thought that maybe it was Christmas already, so he opened his present, a shiny figurine with a wren on it, and said, "Happy Christmas, everybody!" Then he went straight back to sleep, because the moon was already shining out and it was that mysterious time between day and night, when it is not easy to tell which is which or why or whether. That's where the present Christopher Robin had told for the other animals, for early and late sugar mice, for owl a spectacly case in case he lost his spectacles, for piglet, pink ear mask, for Ru, a bottle of colored sand in a satisfying pictures from the isle of Bay, for Kanga a set of 7 thimbles, one for each day of the week, for Tiger a pogo stick, for Rabbit a book called 1001 Useful Houseboat Hints, for Ear to umbrellas, for front and back, for pooh a wooden ladle for removing the stick bits from pots of honey. What did Christopher Robin wish for when he cut the cake? That is a secret, and if I told you what it was, it would never come true. But Paul came into it and began and the sunshine. So it was quite a long wish, and Christopher Robin kept his eyes thick shut when he made it, but his lips moved a bit. If what Christopher Robin wished for was more adventures in the 100 acre woods, then he wished certainly did come true, and I will tell you about the adventure from the time that Pegasus became a hero to the time the tiger dreams of Africa. There could well be heaven lamps in there somewhere and honey. In fact, I am sure of the honey. There may even be a story about the very cool bicycle, because it was a very fine one early, and it made you feel good just to look at it, and made you want to rub the mud the mud off it just as it got onto it. There might be other bicycles in the hundred acre woods, but none as fine nor as shiny as Christopher Robin's, and nobody prouder than he.